Sup, Deadites. Let me state it right now. Deku's name is going to be Isaiah Izuku, but honestly, depending on who's talking to him, they will be interchanged. We're now at the 6-month training period. Deku doesn't have one for all in this, obviously. No one for all means we can double down on the differences between him and his dad. For starters, there was the Bio Ball, which functions similar to the Bio Bomb, but feeds Isaiah the sweet, sweet biomass. He could make more tendrils at once, and he seemed to have a projectile attack that caused goo to hit his desired targets. The goo was obvious, but the explosion was a dead giveaway as well. Son, you laying pipe? What? You slinging that Johnson, dipping that sausage. You having sex, son? Izuku's just recovered from his spit take. And that was all the reaction James really needed to know that his son was getting him some Bakugo booty. Cannot believe I just said that line. Relax. It ain't like I'm telling your mother or anything. Just be careful, aight? Deku promised to be careful, and they went about training. So, how long y'all been at it? Deku answers with as long as they've been going out, and James gives him a you know what I mean look. He answered with a few months, and James let the topic die there for now. Toshinori came by and joined in on various exercises. James came out on top in most of the exercises, and Deku and Toshinori would swap back and forth for second. Fate Katsuki's training. Usually her boyfriend would be helping her push herself to new levels, but that wasn't an option today. For some reason, she felt a chill down her spine. Inko had pulled some strings and got her an area where she could train all out. Unlike Izuku, she didn't have the benefit of a parent with pretty much the exact same quirk, so she'd have to put in some work alone. Her mom is a housewife and her dad isn't exactly athletic. Her boyfriend drew the genetic lottery. Not only did he inherit his father's awesome powers, his mother is also amazingly intelligent and a premier businesswoman. Now, her parents were still good parents, and there was no denying that. She didn't exactly feel like Izuku was riding his parents' coattails either, though. Dude had some nightmares, and often. Mostly about himself. She supposed that was the effect of having all that power. He, and by extension, she would be in the public eye for a while. Izuku was technically already doing hero work of sorts. Before you ask, he has a military license. As for those nightmares, Izuku has been seeing things that just cannot be unseen. Or at least that's what Katsuki is assuming. She'd really be correct, though. A few days later, the Heller family can be seen at the park enjoying a cookout. All Might and the Bakugos, alongside others, were there as well. Now, eventually Izuku had that talk with his mom on curbing his enthusiasm with girls, or in this case, girl. She was glaring at James for not telling her sooner, though. I'll spare you any further details on that. We've all had that talk, or some variation of it. James was on the grill at the moment. Izuku was boxing with Shoto Todoroki and winning. it was kind of unfair. They weren't using quirks, but Izuku fights full-grown men and women at the gym on the base. Say what you will, but the JSDF have some pretty bad mofos. Come on, Shoto, get in there, son. Bob and weave. Reina was hollering excitedly. That's right, she's not in the psych ward. Shoto was trying to do as his mother asked, but it was easier said than done. Izuku was used to fighting for his life. Unlike him, Shoto went in for a punch and it connected. Izuku swan dived. He got the workout he needed, not necessarily the one he wanted. Inko wasn't letting him near Katsuki for an hour. Now, just in case some of you are winking, whoa, 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 not like that. Remember me saying that Izuku has been training with Katsuki? Katsuki knows how to make Izuku work for it. There are very few that know how to do that. And if he has his way, eventually Shoto will know how to do that and give him a proper challenge. Now, Shoto wanted to call him out on the fact that he just threw the fight, but there was a look in his eyes, you know, that crazed look. He wants to get the blood boiling, and fighting him right now would be dangerous. Now, Izuku's old man can also put him through the ringer, but he's getting better. Probably because of all the missions he's been doing with him. If you're curious, who am I kidding? Of course you are. James and Deku were set out to fight various, well, bioweapons. Yes, the bioweapons you're thinking of. But speaking of bioweapons, it's time to meet an OC of mine. A tendril hands Shoto and Deku water bottles. Said tentacle belongs to none other than Deku's dog, Artemis. This bitch here is the first, and only, as far as you know, living being that Izuku willingly infected. Remember, this is a literal bitch. She's a female dog. So, please, there's that. You both look thirsty, Master. Yes, she can talk. However, only to James and Izuku at the moment. Maybe that will change as she evolves further, but for right now, it's hive mind communication only. Oh, did I just drop another knowledge bomb on you? James and Izuku can communicate, remember, via the hive mind, or rather, a hive mind unique for them. Remember, this isn't exactly the prototype world. James did get infected, and Blackwatch America was a thing, but he wasn't infected by Mercer. He's not a thing at the moment. I may make him a thing, but right now, nope. James was a complete and total freak accident. If not for his quirk Darwinism, he may have been dead or worse. Now, just to be clear, Darwinism. If you're thinking Darwin from X-Men, yes, that. His quirk essentially adapted his body to survive. It took the virus and it made his body able to, well, become an evolved. Not for it, once again, he would have been dead or worse. An infected. A hunter. Ugh. He really doesn't like those things. He's taken out his fair share of them. Now, remember Blackwatch Japan? They're doing the exact opposite of what their counterparts doing. And they're doing it pretty well for the most part, unfortunately. They're under the radar for the most part, an attack/experiment in areas that have been deemed either unfit for life or no one's gonna give a crap about. Blackwatch America wasn't happy when they had to share intel with the Hellers, but they understood that they were doing good work. They were just jealous that the Hellboys, yeah, we're going there, were doing a better job than they were. Back to the barbecue. Thanks, Artie. Love ya. Izuku scratched under her chin. She really liked that. As for what she looks like, she's a Doberman normally. She's also evolved like her masters. She has similar abilities that I'll go into later, however. Right now she looks normal, but in mission, her code name is Hellhound. I swear, these puns are unintentional. The boys lay down in the grass and chug their water. Never throw a match with me again. Izuku just smiled. After the cookout was done and the remaining food was divided, all families left for their homes. Katsuki was waiting for Izuku. Go ahead, boy. Your lady's waiting for a kiss goodnight. James half joked at his son. James and Inko make for the car and leave Izuku and to send his girlfriend off. So our parents know. I kinda let it slip with my mom. Katsuki admitted. Don't worry about it. My dad figured it out too. It was only a matter of time since I've been using ooze bombs. My parents just told me to be safe and not hurt you. Two held each other tightly in a hug, then lessened the hug obviously and kissed under the pale moonlight. When they came out from said kiss, they noticed two sets of parents looking at them from two different cars. Tried to warn you, Master, but Daddy wouldn't let me. The two go to their cars they belonged to and head home. Neither was pleased at their parents. James, however, got smacked by Inko for laughing at Izuku. A few weeks later, jumped to James and Izuku on a mission. It was pretty cut and dry. They were just hunting hunters. However, nothing is so cut and dry. The first to sense the presence was Artemis. Boys, I think we've got multiple alphas in the area. It wasn't like Blackwatch America to give faulty intel, so this must have been a recent development. Any chance they're fighting for dominance? James asked. He figured already that the answer was no. There were 3 areas to go to and they were really far away. And one of those areas supposedly had a bomb containing a viral payload in it. None of them liked the idea, but they had to split up. Cut to a drone in the sky, focusing on our heroic trio. James in his armored form, Artemis in her hellhound mode, which is sort of like what you see here, only with the addition of a second head and, well, barbed tails. No, we're gonna make that an add-on. But so it's what you see here, only with 2 heads. Izuku was just wearing what looks like a biker getup. Unlike his father and dog, he doesn't have any special armored mode yet. James's den was a dud short of an annoying alpha. He got out of that relatively unscathed. Artemis, however, was in for a bad time. Daddy, I've got a Juggernaut here. Not a second after that message was delivered, Artemis was assailed by hunters and brawlers. time for one of those powers. Remember Barf and Belch from How to Train Your Dragon? One head could spew gas and the other could ignite it. That's not the case here. Both heads generate viral and non-viral, which can be done, fire and spew it in different directions. She thanked her lucky stars that she could do that, since it drastically lowered enemy numbers. There was still a lot though. Both heads looked at one another and split up, consuming the biomass of fallen hunters and brawlers they had charged. If not for that, it would have been quite risky to do this move, since it's literally splitting them in half. Each body had half the biomass now. Since Artemis is the goddess of the hunt, we're gonna call these two Yumi and Ya, bow and arrow. Yumi and Ya dispensed of the minions, but still had to deal with the Juggernaut. This is where they focused their fire from 2 points, and that did some damage to the sucker. Unfortunately, Yumi took a good hit to the barrel, knocking the wind right out of her. Ya spewed a fireball at the thing's eyes and ran to her sister to give her some biomass. The two think it's better that they rejoin and attack with vigor. While they have good DPS separated, their strength levels are halved, even with the biomass they absorbed, so it's time for them to become Artemis again. Artemis goes for the literal jugular with a strike from her twin-bladed tails, followed by another fireball which knocked it flat on its ass. She sets her body ablaze and ends the Goliath with a flaming spin dash into its chest, straight through and out. She wasn't wasting an ounce of that thing for the work it made her put out. However, there was nothing at her location either. Oh no. Guys, I think I'm gonna have a problem. Izuku's location was the mother lode. It contained the actual target and was filled to the brim with every bad guy from Prototype roster that wasn't a boss. Unfortunately for Izuku, he was now balls deep in the actual lair they were meant to hit, and waiting on help was not an option. He steals himself and gets ready for the mayhem.
Alright, Deadites, it's time for a poll. So, we got 4 options here. Number 1, a boy and his dog, meaning Artemis gets there in time. Number 2, father and child, meaning James manages to make it there in time, but not Artemis. 3, 3 Musketeers. Artemis and James make it there in time. Well, to help him with the big bad. But number 4 is All for One, where he has to handle it himself.